it's supposed to feel.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? How you going, Stu? Paul, J1, Sherry. Who else have we got? Dealey. And Starchild. How you going, guys? Good to see ya. Okay, let's go to the screen. Here we go. We'll see how much we can get through today and hopefully get some through some of those threads that I was keep bookmarking. X22 reports that if the Social Security Administration possesses over 60 million more eligible Social Security numbers than the total US population, what does this mean for our voter registration lists? That's interesting. I wonder what it does mean for how many voters you got compared to your population. MJ Truth Ultra said Tom Homan announces a bold nationwide crusade to deputise every American citizen to hunt for missing kids starting next week. Every parent in the United States has the ability to recognise that something is not right with a child in a workplace that shouldn't be there, a child with an adult where something doesn't seem right, a child that is not seen often outside playing, a child being overtly sheltered by their parent. Tom Homan wants to set expectations. We're not going to find all of them, some will be dead. Tom Homan encourages everyone to call the ICE tip line 24/7 at 1-866-347-2423 if you see anything suspicious involving children. Wow. It was for migrant children. Now it says closed and they're saying no children were over there, which was a contract was entered for a school in Greensboro. The contract was for millions and millions with a New York company. I asked Ted Cruz Green to please look into it a year or more ago. I received no response. American Hebrew Academy, Greensboro Global Academy, permanently closed. Interesting. Okay. let's continue on. Role of Boa, aka Roy, said, "Great news. One of the worst eyesore blights on the landscape for the benefit of few greedy farmers and private company milking taxpayer dollars in subsidies for a tiny amount of occasional electricity generation. Good riddance." One of Australia's first wind farms faces decommissioning due to cost. And where are they going to dump the stuff? It's too expensive, isn't it? Due to cost. It's too expensive. And we are subsidising it through our bills. Oh, great. Australia's Versus the Agenda said, breaking, the New South Wales Labor government has introduced the Racial Religious Hatred Bill to Parliament. Elements of this bill create new criminal offences for the incitement of hatred, fear or intimidation towards another person or group on the basis of race. It will not need to be proven that the targeted person actually did fear these outcomes, and making assumptions of other races will not be a defence to these new crimes. New South Wales Attorney General Michael Daly has warned everyone to be careful. And the update, the bill has passed the New South Wales lower house. Well, they can go get stuffed. I still don't care. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said, Maha tip of the day, eat more steak. Make America healthy again. Hey, Del, hey, out to lunch, how you going? Pat, how you going? Lawrence Fox said, do not send your children to die for men who cancel democratic elections. Either here or in Ukraine, they're both scum. Because apparently Keir Starmer has cancelled elections.
Good evening. I want to thank President Macron for convening us this evening. At stake is not just the future of Ukraine, it is an existential question for Europe.
I don't know if you can hear him. I can't even hear him. Oh, well, the volume's up. I don't want to listen to him anyway, so... But they're all standing behind Ukraine. Stephen said, what a vile little creature Fatima is, screaming and jumping up and down because Pauline pointed out accurately the high levels of HIV among African migrants. Listen to this BS. Oh, I'm going to have to turn this down. This might be loud. Knowing her, it will be.
He says, we're bringing in people from South Africa at the moment. There's a huge amount coming into Australia who have disease. They've got AIDS. If that is not racist, what is it? Oh, it's not racist. Oh, somebody bring the dictionary because Senator Hanson does not know the definition of racism. The fact that you would say just weeks ago to Senator Faruqi, piss off back to Pakistan, you're not just vindictive, mean, nasty, you bring disgrace to the human race. No dignity whatsoever as a senator. He says, we're bringing in...
She's an absolute Fruit Loop, seriously. I don't know what these people are doing in our parliament. God knows. But I like this man, Senator Babbitt, whatever his name is, and he should be the next Prime Minister of Australia. To be honest, this is what I think it's my personal opinion, that Ralph Babbitt should be the next Prime Minister of Australia. He has the one that stood his ground the whole time. I've been watching everyone, right? I've saw Pauline Hanson backtrack and Paul Kelly, not Paul Kelly, oh my God. Malcolm Roberts abstained from voting in the censorship bill. But this man here has always stayed true. So there you go. Joel Lang said, can I offer a possibility? There's something happening as becoming a bigger story each day, the public narrative. I can't help but think it's a distraction. It seems similar, like a similar playbook from the past. What is this big story? Marco Rubio has arrived in Saudi Arabia to meet with Russian delegation to discuss a peace deal in the Russian-Ukraine war. What's really going on? Why are they meeting in Saudi Arabia? Why wasn't a delegation from Ukraine invited to these negotiations? What if the meetings are just a distraction for the media? What if the peace deal had already been negotiated and is a done deal? What if it's been a done deal for a while now? If that is true, why have this meeting? What's the common denominator between the US, Russia and Saudi Arabia? They are the three biggest oil producers in the world. Just a coincidence? In this meeting in Saudi Arabia, is the meeting in Saudi Arabia for a bigger reason? Are they coordinating something much bigger than a peace deal? Does it have to do with oil? Maybe the end to the petrodollar? Why would I think that? Is it just a coincidence that Trump recently talked on the phone to both Putin and Xi, whatever his name is, Xi Jinping? Coincidence that Trump just met with Modi at the White House? What do these world leaders have in common? Putin, Xi and Modi are the most powerful leaders of BRICS. Saudi Arabia was supposed to join BRICS on January 1st, 2024, but MBS has yet to confirm their membership. What if he does announce that they're joining BRICS? What do you think that would do to the petrodollar? What would it do to the Fed and the world's central bank's debt system? Wouldn't that send shockwaves through a central bank's debt system? Have you noticed that Trump came out several times on Truth Social lately, completely bashing and threatening BRICS? He threatened them with 100% tariffs if they use their own currency for trade instead of the dollar. BRICS are developing a stable coin for trade that is backed by a basket of commodities and protects each country's sovereignty by allowing them to use their own currencies. Do you really think Trump is really against a system like that, which creates an even playing field for all countries? When Trump met at the White House with Modi, they talked a lot about trade deals, but I don't remember any mention of BRICS. And Modi certainly didn't say that India was leaving BRICS or ending their development of a BRICS stablecoin. I also didn't hear anything about BRICS related to Trump's conversations with Putin and Xi. It was after Trump threatened 100% tariffs on the BRICS nations if they tried to come up with their own currency for trade instead of staying trapped in the centralised system controlled by the Fed and the Federal Reserve Note. Does Trump really want the world to stay trapped in this centralised debt system? I don't believe so. Trump's threats against BRICS seem way over the top to me. Was Trump coming over the top to protect the fiat dollar? Why? Remember, Trump is always speaking to two different audiences. Those that know we're in a war with a hidden enemy and those that think this is still all about politics. Which audience of Americans do you think Trump was talking to when he said 100% tariff on BRICS and BRICS is dead? With such over-the-top threats, why wasn't BRICS part of the narrative with these BRICS leaders? Trump knows what's coming. He knows that he's going to bankrupt the Fed and bring down the entire worldwide debt system. He's not going to protect the Federal Reserve Note. The Federal Reserve Note will go into the trash bin of history with all the other fiat currencies. What Trump is doing is setting an example for all world leaders. Every world leader should want to protect their country's currency. I think we're getting closer to the takedown of the central bank system and the petrodollar. I think there are plans being discussed and timed with these nations, and they're using peace deals as a cover story. That is very, very interesting. And mind you, everyone here is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything is theory until proven otherwise. American Values said RFK Jr. held nothing back in his first speech as Trump's HHS secretary. Nothing's going to be off limits. The certain procedure schedule will be investigated, SSRIs will be investigated, electromagnetic radiation will be investigated. Here is everything RFK pledged for HHS. RFK Jr. told Truth that no public health official has been willing to admit for decades. For example, a key reason why our agencies have lost public trust is that they become too politicised. There's no such thing as Democratic children or Republican children. Science gets politicised when power and profit are involved, and power and profit are blind to compassion. Reducing the influence of money, therefore, goes hand in hand with depoliticising HHS. RFK Jr. reminded Americans that an overwhelming majority of our founding fathers were citizen scientists. Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, John Adams, James Madison, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Rush, a physician, Julian Bartlett, a physician, Matthew Thornton, a physician, and Oliver Wolcott, a physician. Science and democracy were born together during the Enlightenment, and they share the same ideals for openness, for public access, and for transparency. No one trusts science that isn't transparent about its research, hypothesis, its raw data, or its conflicts of interest. No one trusts a government built on lies, on secrets, on cover-ups and propaganda. That's why my uncle famously observed that the word secrecy is repugnant to a free and open society. Millions of American mums, doctors and young people dreamed of this day for years or even decades, but you're not dreaming, this is real life. RFK Jr. said a fog of narrative warfare has left Americans with a warped view of his character and beliefs. Let's start a relationship by letting go of any preconceptions that you may have about me. I promise you now to hold my preconceived answers lightly. I promise to be willing to be wrong. I promise to listen to all the stakeholders, inviting all the parties to the conversation, including the ones with whom I've disagreed in the past. I promise to keep an open mind towards every possibility and every contingency. I hope you will all join me in this commitment because the health of our people is a lot more important than being right or being vindicated. RFK Jr. pledged that his main mission at HHS is to reverse the chronic disease epidemic in America. We're going to work together to launch a new era of radical transparency. We'll even make our data and our policy process so transparent that people won't even have to file a FOIA request. Only through radical transparency can we provide Americans with genuine informed consent, which is the bedrock and foundation stone of democracy. I believe that most of you here are not here for the money. My goal as secretary here at HHS will be to create a culture of competency, of ethics, of openness, of transparency, of caring and of pride so that individuals who share these ideals can flourish and thrive. This is how the agencies under the HHS umbrella will recover their reputations as unimpeachable sources of scientific information to guide policy making, medical professionals, the public and the whole world. This is not normal, and it's not normal that previous public health officials gaslit you into thinking it was actually normal instead of getting to the bottom of it. Reversing of this starts now. ADHD, how much increase since 1990? 819%. Alzheimer's disease, 299%. Autism spectrum disorders, 2,094%. Bipolar disorder in youth, 10,833%. Celiac disease, 1,111%. Chronic fatigue syndrome, 11,027%. Depression, 280%. Diabetes, 305%. Fibromyalgia, 7,272%. Hypothyroidism, 702%. Lupus at 787%. Osteoarthritis at 449%. Sleep apnea at 430%. Asthma at 412%. Autoimmune disorders, general, 1,600%. Food allergies in children, 377%. And non-alcoholic fatty liver disease at 535%. RFK Jr. pledged to bring Doge and Elon Musk into HHS to make Medicare and Medicaid more efficient. The same Doge technology that has uncovered vast amounts of waste and fraud can be used to better serve our fellow citizens who depend on these programs to make sure that no one is left behind and no one is left out. We will aim to set a standard of courtesy, efficiency, professionalism and integrity that will make HHS again the envy of the world. RFK Jr. promised that nothing is going to be off limits in his investigation of chronic disease. The childhood vaccine schedule, electromagnetic radiation, glyphosate, other pesticides, ultra-processed foods, artificial food additives, SSRI and other psychiatric drugs, PFAS, PFOAs, microplastics. Some of the possible factors we will investigate were formerly taboo or insufficiently scrutinised. Whatever belief or suspicion I have expressed in the past, I'm willing to subject them all to the scrutiny of unbiased science. This is going to be our template, unbiased science. Let's use protocols that we all agree on in advance and not alter the outcomes of the studies when they're halfway through and that look inconvenient. Let's all depoliticise these issues and re-establish a common ground or action and renew the search for existential truth with no political impediments and no preconceptions. Maha, what is your reaction to RFK Jr.'s first speech as President Trump's HHS secretary? That sounds pretty good. I only wish we had similar in Australia. Okay, and in Ireland now, breaking. Michael O'Keefe, news breaking in Ireland this morning that the government sought a court order to access the private information of Grip Media because Grip published footage of Garda assaulting people. Sorry, I don't think I said that right. I can't even speak Irish anymore. Can't even pronounce Irish. Sorry. Regular people who didn't want migrants in their community. Here's more footage of Garda stormtroopers attacking people in order to force migrants into communities. If they want it buried, let's make sure everyone sees it. So they're attacking the normal population who don't want migrants in their communities, and they're forcing it. Nice. Not. Anyway, I'm sure we get the gist of it, okay? This is really bad. What kind of government does this? Only to tip the iceberg with these totalitarian lunatics. I'll say. How rude. Elon Musk said this is a deliberate strategy by Democrats to use government handouts to attract and retain illegal immigrants, as illegals vote overwhelmingly Democrat. In New York and many other parts of the country, illegals are already allowed to vote in local elections. As they become citizens, they will vote in national elections. It's just a matter of when, not if. A diabolical but effective strategy. Wall Street Apes said, holy crap. Whistleblower, they were incentivised to qualify illegals for long-term disability to qualify illegals for Social Security for life, so they were set for life. They wanted us to try and identify them in such a way that they would qualify for long-term Social Security disability. Now, long-term Social Security disability is for life. So if they get identified and qualify for long-term Social Security disability, they're as good as set up for life. That doesn't sound like a refugee to me. Just being honest, that sounds like someone who's planning on staying here. So they instructed us to try and identify to get the client, because once they arrive here, they're now called clients. So they told us that we need to talk to the client and ask them if they have any headaches, reoccurring headaches, any lower back problems, anything that would qualify them for Social Security long-term disability. Yes, it is insanity, but in order to get Social Security disability benefits, you don't need a Social Security number. Well, we were instructed in the meeting that one of the first things we were supposed to do was sign them up for Social Security. This is unbelievable. So they come over here and they get a Social Security number, right? They become legal. Correct. Democrats wanted illegal migrants on permanent Social Security so they could drain our system and we pay for them until the day they die. They'd never have to work a day in their lives in America. Insane. Wow. I bet you the Australian government's doing something similar. I bet you any money. Put them all on disability allowance. Okay, and that's what I just read. Eric Doherty said just in, the full list of Republicans on the Declassification and Transparency Task Force has released. The task force will soon hold its first hearing. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, Nancy Mace, Tim Burchett, Lauren Boebert, Eli Crane and Brandon Gill and Eric Burlinson. Time to spill the goods. America's ready for the truth. The whole world's ready. Those of us who've been waiting a long time, yes, we are ready. Hey, Timmy. Hey, Deb. Who else have we got in here? Luna, how you going? Robert, how you going? And out to lunch, did I say hello? Virginia, how you going? Okay, I think I've got everyone so far. Okay, creepy. You remember the lady I showed you yesterday who looked like, I don't know, skeletal? Creepy said this is Merit Schneider, the Swiss politician who wants to ban X. What happened to her over the years? What on earth? What is this? Is she transforming before our very eyes? Into a reptilian? No, I'm kidding. Goodness me. That looks quite scary. It does look like a drug addict. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, trans. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Okay, anyway, look how she used to look, though. I mean, that's a major wow. Holy guacamole. Okay. Yeah, it could be Ozempic, Deb. Something's going on. It looks very weird. And that's not, like, I haven't aged like that over time. I still got puffy cheeks. I have wrinkles, but I got puffy cheeks. I don't know. Elon Musk said Romania deserves its own sovereignty. Inevitable West said breaking. Callan Georgescu announces on his first day as president he'll ban the entire Soros network in Romania. We have ways to do this. We know who they are. It's very clear. Oh, do it, guys. Your country will benefit. Okay, Senator Babet, the one who I was pointing out before in Australian Parliament that I think would... He's the United Australia Party federal senator. United Australia, okay? Vote for that one as well as the Libertarians and even Pauline Hanson's One Nation before you vote for Liberal, Labor or the Greens or the Teals. Okay, Senator Babet says self-proclaimed queer Cynthia Erivo is set to play Jesus Christ. Blasphemy. This isn't about creativity. It's a direct attack on Christianity, a deliberate insult to our faith and traditions. They mock what is sacred, believing there will be no consequences. These relentless attacks on our beliefs will not stop unless we stop them. Christianity is under siege, and we cannot negotiate with evil. We must eradicate it, repent or perish. Cynthia Erivo to play Jesus in new stage show, but wicked star casting divided fans. Yeah, well, I won't be going to see it. I don't know, will you? This is insane. What the hell? Okay, X22 reports, seems like I'm not the only one thinking this. Who can guess why Britain is sending billions worth of gold to America? Now let's go to the comments. Oz Integrity. Go Aussies. Prop the audit. Only a simultaneous audit in both London and US will suffice. What was I saying yesterday? Only if they audit them both at the same time will they know. Unless the gold bars are actually stamped with numbers. I don't know. Calora Luminara Lionheart. So where does our tax money go? Between DC, Vatican City and the City of London, lots of gold is owed to this nation and back to we the people. Sounds a bit like Jasara and Nasara, really, doesn't it? I don't know. Things will come back to you. Mick Amias said, I'd like to one day wake up and see the world finally understands all the mistakes it's made and is finally learning from them. Odds of this happening? I don't know, but I do. Not all of them. I don't understand all of them yet, but I mean, I'm learning from my mistakes. How about you? Do you learn from your mistakes? A second renaissance. Eventually, yes, reality will have its way in the end. The real question is whether any of us here will be around to wake up to it. I suspect I'll be in the same boat as Luth and Rail on this one. No matter, keep calm and carry on. Okay. Baron of Burley said, listen to this. Brent crude oil prices have dropped from 121 US a barrel when Albo MP came to office to just 75 US a barrel, close to half last week. Have you seen it at the pump? Nah, who's getting all the money? Our petrol is still, what, over $2 or around $2 a litre, right? And the price has dropped to nearly half. Why aren't we seeing it at the pump? More tax snuck in there, I'm thinking. Lord Bebo said breaking €700 billion for Ukraine. The EU is working on a huge package for Ukraine, which should have been made public after the elections in Germany. But German Foreign Minister Aliana Baerbock couldn't keep the secret and made it clear there could be about €700 billion. We will launch a large package that has never existed in this dimension before. Baerbock on the sidelines of the Munich meeting. They wanted to hide it so it will not interfere with the elections, but now you know European taxpayer money will go to Ukraine in unprecedented sums. Babcock babbles after the election, billions for Ukraine. Actually, the EU wanted to keep the weapons project secret until after the Bundestag election, but Annalena Baerbock let the cat out of the bag. Ooh. For those who are wondering, here's an updated map of Ukraine. Okay? It's a washing machine, in case you're not looking at the screen. Senator Gerard Rennick said Chief Justice of New South Wales Andrew Bell has criticised the actions of US President Donald Trump and tech billionaire Elon Musk, warning democracy is at risk. While acknowledging that Mr Zuckerberg may in part have been intimidated by Mr Trump's threats to jail the Meta CEO, the Chief Justice said the organisation's abandonment of fact-checking would contribute to the flourishing of misinformation. Ahead of Mr Trump's inauguration, Meta announced it was ending its third-party fact-checking program and moving to a community notes model, with Mr Zuckerberg saying the previous fact-checking regime had become too politically biased and destroyed more trust than they created. Truth decay, when coupled with moral indifference or resignation, represents a profound risk to the structures, traditions and conventional norms of our society, including the rule of law, Chief Justice Bell claimed. It's one thing to disrupt democratic structures and institutions, it's another to begin to dismantle them. Wow, and you thought it was just politicians and the media that wanted to censor free speech. Now we have an Australian Chief Justice wanting to shut down free speech on social media. The fact-checking that the judge supports was responsible for covering up the dangers of certain procedures that may have killed or injured millions of people across the world, not to mention erroneous fact-checking around climate change, election rigging and false flags. Imagine if the misinformation laws had passed, and they will if the Liberals get in, what this authoritarian zealot would have done with them? This judge needs to be debarred. He clearly isn't impartial and therefore incapable of doing his job. It also reinforces why we need an independent judicial commission to keep judges in check. We need a Doge. And look at them. I think they like playing dress up, these people. Look, why the hell would you... Look, if I walked into a courtroom with a judge looking like this, I'd burst out laughing. Right? I've walked into a courtroom once, no, a couple of times because of a apprehended violence order that I had to get, but thank God none of them wore these things because I would have laughed at them. I think they're cosplaying. Is this some sort of Freemason dress-up ritual? I don't know. It's weird. Orban Victor said, warning, our fears have come true. The globalist liberal Soros NGO network is fleeing to Brussels after President Trump dealt a huge blow to their activities in the US. Now 63 of them are asking Brussels for money under the guise of various human rights projects. Not going to happen. We will not let them find safe haven in Europe. The US aid files expose the dark practices of the globalist network. We will not take the bait again. Ooh. Go, guys. DD Geopolitics said Slovakia will never agree to Ukraine's membership in NATO and will not send its troops to this country. Good stuff. More people are standing up. Ancient Masculinity said words that no longer hold any power in 2025. Ready for it? Nazi, bigot, racist, sexist, far-right, misogynist, transphobe, xenophobe, homophobe, white supremacist, Christian nationalist. Did I miss any? Conspiracy theorist, anti-Semite, extremist, coloniser and fascist. Fascist is already in there, I think. Was it? No? Oh, no, they did leave it out. There you go. Yep. None of them mean anything. Call me whatever you want. I don't care. Anthony Scalise said, Australia, a fleet of planes will be ready soon for all the unwanted imports to board. It's time to clean up the mess. Well, come on then, let's go. Lawrence Fox said, never forget that Piers Morgan cancelled first and ask questions later. He will change his position on any issue to align with the current mood. With no regard to the intelligent and principled people who he shut up and demeaned for the whole flu season debacle, he has no morals and no principles which can't be bought. He is a spineless propaganda media mouthpiece masquerading as an edgy journalist, a man who got rich off exploiting the suffering of others, exactly the sort of gutter hack who gives that profession such a bad name. Yes, he does. He flip-flops all over the place, Piers. Chris Parry said, bizarre that Keir Starmer wants to secure the border between Ukraine and Russia but can't or doesn't want to secure the borders of the UK. Don't you find that odd? Okay, we've got a Doge National Park Service. Doge is seeking help from the public. Please DM this account with insights on findings and fixing waste, fraud and abuse relating to the National Park Service. Thank you. Now, they've got one for a whole lot, right? A whole lot of different... I'm wondering, you know, all the people that go missing in national parks, can they find them? Could they find them? I don't know. I'm just asking. But anyway, anyone who's got any insights on finding and fixing waste, fraud or abuse in the National Park Service can contact Doge National Park Service. Donald Cotter said people who think Russia's going to attack Europe are completely out of their minds. I cannot believe people can be so out of touch with reality. And Cillian said, wow, patriotic Irish men are now patrolling the streets of Dublin every evening to keep Irish women and children safe, following a recent surge in migrant violence, which the Irish police have refused to address. This is incredible, and I believe parts of England are doing the same. So you've got the men are standing up now. They're going out. They're going to protect the women and the children of their countries. Well done. Craig Kelly said he couldn't pull the skin off a rice custard, yet he wants to send other people's children off to war in Ukraine. Anti-WEF said, this is the tough guy fighter that wants to send your children to die in Ukraine. Oh my God, mate, I can punch better than that, and I'm a girl. Oh my God. You pussy. Okay. Oz Integrity said the ABC News has again been caught out manipulating news footage. Watchers Shallow Chow reveals ABC deceptively editing out a section of the interview which discloses that power prices, not tariffs, are why BlueScope Australia is considering abandoning Oz Steel.
I did an interview yesterday with ABC News regarding steel tariffs and the production of steel in Australia versus America. But the ABC News, those dirty little sneaky bastards, they cut a clip out of what they posted on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to share that with you now.
You pay a half to a third, depending on gas or electricity in the United States relative to the energy costs that we have in Australia. I still don't think we've solved the problem here in Australia, the transition from fossil fuels to renewable fuels. For an industry like ours, a company like ours that needs reliable, affordable, renewable energy 24/7, if we have a better return for our investments in North America, then it's our responsibility and our responsibility to our shareholders to invest where we can get the best return.
The dirty commies at the ABC did their absolute best to try and make out that Trump's tariffs were going to push BlueScope steel production offshore to the US. But as you saw in that clip, Mark Vassallo made it really clear that the cost of electricity being 1/3 of what they pay in Australia means that from a business perspective, they have to consider steel production in the US versus Australia because it's too fucking expensive here to make steel with our electricity prices. But those rotten bastards at the ABC cut that part out where he was talking about the electricity prices and only posted the part where he was talking about the tariffs in the full clip on the ABC YouTube channel. It's that kind of sneaky shit reporting that really drives me nuts about the taxpayer-funded ABC. The ABC shouldn't be allowed to not post the full interview, and they shouldn't be allowed, given that they're funded with our money, to not disclose the full story when it comes to the reasons why BlueScope would consider steel manufacturing in the US over Australia. We have some of the highest electricity prices in the world in Australia. We don't have a domestic gas reservation policy on the East Coast, and BlueScope, whose profits were down 53% in the last year, on the quiet, I heard they lost over $1 billion, are feeling the pinch. And when we lose steel manufacturing in Australia over the next 12 to 24 months, because they will move it all offshore, just like Brickworks moved their brick production facilities offshore, You will know all about it, Australia, because that will pretty much be the end of manufacturing in Australia. We don't make much now as it is. It's less than 5% of our GDP, down from 23% just 20 odd years ago. It's a economic decimation. And the ABC needs to be hung out to fucking dry because they played their part in making it happen too by not telling you the full story.
Wow. Huh. So it's too expensive now to manufacture anything in Australia? Hey, MJ. Hey, Nick. How you going? Good to see you guys. Yeah, it's now too expensive because electricity prices are too expensive. So, oh my God. Yeah, renewables are not renewable. They can't, ridiculous bullshit. Whiplash347 said among the most disturbing payouts that have been announced since 2008, taxpayers have funded the unaccompanied children program, the child trafficking program, with, hang on, is that 19 billion? 945,892,007 dollars. That's what it looks like to me. They're all commas and then the full stop is there where there should be 00. If so, it's 19 billion, 940, nearly 20 billion. The Doge investigation has produced evidence that Jews were used in 9/11. Take this with a grain of salt. Caused Maui, LA and Northern California fires, plus man-made floods and hurricanes, were used to destroy North Carolina and Georgia, Florida, all of which were done to clear the land for the cabal takeover and to build smart cities. In the last 4 years, 18.5 billion has been sent from US aid to be laundered through DA Afghanistan Bank and given to terrorist states located in the Middle East. Another 1.3 billion has been paid to terrorist organisations around the world. US aid has given 500 million through a secret NGO to Internews Network, which is basically a training ground for journalists across the world to train them how to push government propaganda. 4,291 networks involved and 9,000 trained journalists across the globe. Another over $33 million was paid out by US aid to promote a leftist agenda in the press. The World Economic Forum, run by deep state cabal, received $68 million from US aid. There has been a $2.7 trillion in improper payments made to Medicare, Medicaid and overseas organisations. Bill Gates' vaccine organisation, Gavi, was awarded $4.88 billion from US aid for the procedures that may have hurt people worldwide. US Congressman Ron Johnson recently alleged that this whole thing was a pre-planned by an elite group of people, or Event 201, in reference to the John Hopkins Center tabletop exercise with the World Economic Forum and the Gates Foundation. Social Security fraud payments, $100 billion has been paid annually to individuals who don't even have Social Security numbers, or maybe they do. Maybe they took the dead people, the people who are living for 400 or 500 years. There was $600 million paid out every 2 months to facilitate illegal immigration. In addition, $59 million was paid out yearly to house illegals in a fancy New York hotel. US aid paid out over $150 billion to promote climate change, which has proven to not exist. The US Army diverted over $150 million meant for soldiers' food, according to the Military Times. No one seems to know where the money went. Trump's Operation Hammer was about to be made public. It involved the White Hat's military, in which was in the middle of making arrests over 700,000 sealed indictments, has been holding thousands of JAG military tribunals and executing those who have committed treason. I risked everything so you could know the truth. Don't turn away now. Yeah, I'd take that with a grain of salt. I don't know why. Anyway. Topher Fields said the housing crisis is a failure of the free market. Huh? What? Yeah, housing in Australia is a Wild West-style free market, except for zoning laws, restricted land release, development approval process, planning requirements, block size stipulations, building permits, design regulations, Australian standards on materials and fittings, licensing of building and trades, energy efficient standards, accessibility requirements, occupancy permits, land tax, stamp duty, first homeowners grants, tax deductibility for investors but not for owners, interest rates manipulation via inflation rate, and probably more that I've missed. Yep, the crisis is totally 100% a failure of the free market with all of these permits and standards and requirements required. 50% of annual home insurance is consumed by government taxes. We have a stupid 2.4 ceiling height for habitable rooms limit when it should be at the most 2.1, plus the GST. On a project where doing the red tape costs considerably more than the build itself because of government getting involved. Okay, Che Bowers said, breaking, ex-Ukrainian President Poroshenko has revealed that Zelensky, who had dispatched 1 million to their deaths, is a draft dodger who avoided military registration 4 times. The Defence Ministry confirms that in 2014 to 15, he was sent 4 summonses, but he never showed up. So the man sending on everyone else off to war, I think we'll find this a lot in our politicians, have dodged the draft themselves. Hey, Randy, how you going? V said, Zelensky and the cabal need to keep the war going in order to keep money laundering, hide the 49 biolabs, the child trafficking, the corruption, the Adreno facilities, BlackRock taking over Ukraine's natural resources and try to defeat Russia for its resources. 700,000 young men forced into the meat mincer with no training at gunpoint and dead. They are also fulfilling the agenda of getting rid of masculine white men to make it easier to implement the tyranny of the New World Order where we have nothing. Only a fool would fight for this corrupt, treasonous war. Resist going into this war as you'll be leaving your country vulnerable to complete takeover of your homes, women and children. Remember, Starmer won't be sending his family to the meat mincer. Only your children are disposable fodder. Yes, you should not. Don't let them. In fact, Starmer and his children should go first. I want all these people who are calling for war to go over there and get on the front line themselves. How about that? Let's see it. Liz Churchill said arrest Bill Gates. Court Doge discovers US aid was secretly sending $4 billion to Bill Gates plus an additional $880 million to the WHO after President Trump withdrawal from the WHO, calling them criminals. So it's going on even after. Is it? Is that? Am I reading that right? As Trump suspended the payment for this 90-day review and Musk moved in, you saw Bill Gates do a media thing and it sounded like this. So I'm a little worried, particularly, hang on.
Like this. So I'm a little worried, particularly with this USAID stuff. My foundation partners with USAID on nutrition and getting vaccines out. And, there's incredible people. They're not actually worms that work there. So, hopefully we'll get some of that work back in shape. In fact, if we don't, you could have literally millions of deaths.
Okay, allegedly. No, in fact, look at how we just saw all the amounts of autism and everything go up, didn't we? We saw how much how unhealthy everybody is. Yeah, and he's not helping. Robbie Starbucks said, how awful is the legacy media? NBC is trying to blame President Trump and Doge right now for a plane crash that happened in Canada. Crazy. Lindsay Penny, I don't know, said 60 Minutes aired an interview of 2 US aid contractors last night. One was Christina Dry, and the same woman ABC interviewed who confessed to taking incriminating books with her after Doge entered the US aid building. Strangely, Christina has deleted her X account. Let's have a listen.
People are really scared, and they had to leave the building, and they were never able to walk back in the building again.
Doge was in the building. We took down our pride flags. I took out any books I felt would be incriminating. No one was talking. We heard they started taking transcripts automatically of all of our Google Meets. They They unplugged the news in the little kitchen galleys. It didn't feel good. And then Saturday, all of the websites went down, and then I lost complete access to my computer.
People are really scared, and they had.
Okay, so she said she removed any books that might be incriminating. Now she's deleted her ex account. Elon, go after this one. Oh, we need to start seeing arrests, man. Really? Nigel Farage MP said the government spent £200,000 on studying the impact of Star Wars on the environment. Let me read that again. The government spent $200,000 on studying the impact of Star Wars on the environment. What the fuck? Our taxpayer money's being wasted on a simply enormous scale. Britain needs its own Doge. We all do. Hello, can we make this thing worldwide? We need it. Big Fish, said Greg Gutfield, these Doge protests are the exact same things that US aid does to undermine sitting governments in other countries. The ones complaining the loudest are on the payroll. Yep, people like Greta Thunberg will be on that payroll. Okay, live footage of XRP and Ripple DM complaints being sent to Doge SEC. The SEC has been holding XRP Ripple back, right? Trying to lock them up in more lawfare in court, right? Now, Doge are going to investigate by the look of it. Doge SEC. Doge is seeking help from the public. Please DM this account with insights on finding and fixing waste, fraud and abuse relating to the Securities and Exchange Commission. Watch what happens now. Blockbuster said, isn't this the chick that also had no idea about economics? Another DEI hire. Victoria's new treasurer refuses to rule out more taxes at her first presser. Oh, dear God, what are we doing? Charlie Kirk said Europe wants America to fund the Ukraine war indefinitely, which costs us hundreds of billions of dollars while offering us no benefit. But now that Trump has proposed a peace deal that would end fighting and be maintained by stationing European but not US troops along the ceasefire line, naturally countries like Germany that have howled about Putin being the next Hitler, who must be stopped at all costs, are now flinching from the idea of doing anything themselves to keep the peace. This is a continent of freeloaders. Yes, all our politicians are freeloaders. That's why they're there. Okay, Senator Babette said, if you ever built wealth for yourself and helped others to do the same, if you've never built wealth for yourself and helped others do the same, you have no business making decisions that shape the economy. Parliament needs leaders who understand prosperity, job creation, and financial responsibility. It does not need career politicians with no real-world experience in wealth creation. Leadership should be earned, not inherited. Exactly. I agree with him. It should be, look at Donald Trump. He's a businessman. If you run the country like a business, you can clean it up. Craig Kelly said history repeats itself, but not exactly. It rhymes. Grain and Grit said history repeats itself. Maybe not same people and same circumstances, but there's this. When the Nazis came to power in 1933, the German constitution guaranteed freedom of speech and freedom of the press. Through decrees and laws, the Nazis abolished these civil rights and destroyed German democracy. Starting in 1934, it was illegal to criticise the Nazi government. And now we're finding that in the UK and in Australia and possibly other places. Probably Canada too. I don't think you can criticise him, can you? I don't know. Diana Panchenko said the people of Ukraine demand remove Zelensky from peace talks. Zelensky's trying to sabotage them to continue profiting from the war, and that is from a Ukrainian. Yeah. Okay, Doge SEC. Okay, I've just read that one out. The Securities and Exchange Commission want anyone in the public with insights on finding and fixing waste, fraud and abuse relating to the SEC. Okay, God Save Britain said British patriots wreak havoc on Islamists trying to promote the Quran in High Street in Liverpool. Do you support them? Yep, they're just going in and taking it out. Let's have a little listen. There you go. And I believe the British patriots are also patrolling the streets to protect the women and children there. It's just in one place though, one suburb, I think. Wall Street Ape said, wow, for anyone who still thinks cloud seeding weather modification is just a conspiracy theory, here you go. They're showing you exactly how it works, custom installed switches in the planes, and then showing the chemicals being activated and sprayed into the air. And we wonder why we have a chronic disease epidemic in America. Between this, other procedures and toxic chemicals in our food, RFK Jr. promised to make it a priority to stop this. Let's watch this.
Let's see some class. Look at this. So I flip this to L2, and then I bring this to 1, and fire. Now look at that. Fire. 6, 8, fire, 9, fire. Okay, vertical thing. Let's see some class. Look at this. So
there you go. You can also go and watch Top Gear, where a lady claimed that they cleared Beijing, was it, or somewhere like that, for her to have a wedding, and where Jeremy Clarkson goes to NASA to make rain, to watch NASA make rain. Mick Amias said, wait, isn't this racist? Did he just tell people to go home if they don't like living here? So suddenly to the left it's okay to say such things, but if we tell people to go back home it's bad? Make it make sense. Australians versus the Agenda said New South Wales Labor MP Greg Warren, if you hate Jewish people so much, there are other options and no one's forcing you to stay in Australia. So he's allowed to say it and we're not, okay? There you go.
Deeply offensive when I turn on my TV at night and see these people who clearly are not happy with something, you know, in our society, in a community, in Australia more broadly. Well, if it's that bad, no one forces you to stay. You know, whether you're born here or not. If it's gotten to that level where you don't like something or someone so much, including the very home of which you live, no one's got you chained here. You know, there are other options, rather than hurting the very people that do enjoy a good and common society and community. I'm drawing a close on my contribution, but I'd also like to acknowledge our New South Wales Police and our frontline workers.
Oh, okay. No, thank you very much. You can do that on your own, mate. Okay. Cat A said absolute fire from Christine Anderson as she takes a stand in the EU. President Trump is showing us the way, and unless you want to go down in history as complete idiots, we should follow his lead. Green Deal, USAID, WHO, take it all down and give us Doge instead so we can fight these despicable globalitarian misanthropists. Brilliant. Go, love. Come on. Yes, do it. Yep, you tell them.
Fuera. We need to end the man-made climate change hoax. USAID, afuera! A government agency that fraudulently wastes taxpayers' money, engages in money laundering, and acts as a CIA front to manipulate public opinion abroad to effect regime change must be taken down. USAID has even indirectly funded the Wuhan lab from where the Chinese virus was leaked, which then ushered in the COVID totalitarianism. WHO, afuera! These people are fed up with these unelected bureaucrats of this lobby organization for Big Pharma, who are unaccountable to no one, except maybe to their Chinese donors. President Trump is showing us the way. And unless we want to go down in history as complete idiots, we should follow his lead. Green Deal, development aid, WHO, take it all down and give us Doge instead so we can fight these despicable globalitarian misanthropists. Thank you.
Oh, well said, Christine. You tell them. Doge IRS. Doge is seeking help from the public. Please DM this account with insights on finding and fixing waste, fraud and abuse relating to the Internal Revenue Service. So all those different Doge things that are going on, there's nearly one for everything. So if you have any abuse or fraud or finding insights with finding and fixing waste in the Internal Revenue Service, please contact Doge IRS. Rothmas, this is Adam Schiff saying, Elon Musk is trying to access your personal bank and tax data. The world's richest man should not and cannot be able to snoop around your personal finances, period, end of story. Chaotic Goods said he's not trying to snoop around my personal finances. He's trying to snoop around yours because you get paid with taxpayer money and should be subjected to these types of audits on a regular basis to flush out obvious conflicts of interest. Put in his place. There you go. Elon Musk said 60 Minutes are such liars. As the community note states, all employees are offered 8 months of pay and benefits. 60 Minutes said 12 days ago people knew where the next paycheck was coming from. They knew how they were going to pay for their kids' daycare, their medical bills, and then all gone overnight, says Christina Dry, who was fired in the USAID shutdown. They were offered 8 months of pay and benefits, okay? Miller Joy said all this talk of auditing Fort Knox, and all of a sudden that area is completely flooded. If only I were a conspiracy theorist. Tanky said, well, it's all flooded now. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Wow. J Gen XR said must be a coincidence that another one of the Trudeau's best friends are being charged with this. Weird, eh? President of the Canadian Pride organisation charged with child rape. He's known as a friend of Justin Trudeau. There you go. Been done. News Treason Channel 17, Fox News talking about giving refunds to the taxpayers for the fraud and waste. If this is predictive programming, I'm in. Who agrees? Yep, give refunds to the taxpayers for the fraud and waste that these places have taken off them. It sounds like Nasara Jassara. Anyway, Elon Musk said the logic flow diagram for the social security system looks insane. No one person actually knows how it works. The payment files that move between Social Security and Treasury have significant inconsistencies that are not reconciled. It's wild. According to the Social Security database, as a friend of mine described it, this is like an amazing puzzle, uncovering the secrets of an ancient civilization that went extinct, except it's still around. And then we got this. Apparently someone from 360 to 369 years old is still living. I think these are where the Social Security things are handed out to illegals from here on. The 4 million, the 3 million, 3 million, 3 million, 3 million, 1 million, and down. What do you think? Oh, I don't know. I'm just theorising. Senator Gerard Rennick said there's talk Fort Knox might be audited by Doge to see if the gold's really there. They should audit the Bank of England while they're at it. Again, here we go. We know they've been caught holding fake gold bars with duplicate serial numbers. It's time the manipulation of the gold price by central banks was stopped. Yep. Surely it's reviewed every year. No, it should be, but it isn't. There you go. And that's an Australian senator saying that. Will Tanner said millions of small business owners who started LLCs in March of 2020 are about to find out those crab legs and Louis Vuitton sneakers they bought are going to have to be paid back. The PPP fraud was truly astounding, as anyone who visited the ATL airport during the period could tell you. Leading reports said breaking Trump's DOJ to investigate $100 billion in COVID-era unemployment fraud. Go after everything, guys. Go. AKA said breaking new leaks indicate the Democrats are preparing a Kamala AOC ticket for the 2028 presidential race. Do you really think they're going to win? That's hilarious. Jim Ferguson said explosive, Trump and Putin, the globalists' worst nightmare. The unthinkable is happening. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are set to meet face-to-face in a historic summit, one that could shatter the globalist world order. European elites sneered as Trump called them out for their censorship, their warmongering, and their betrayal of their own people. They laughed because they thought they were untouchable. But what if Trump does the unthinkable? What if Trump flips the script and joins forces with Russia? What if this meeting isn't just about Ukraine, but about reordering the global power structure for good? The West is in full-blown panic mode. Trump might end their war. What this means? A counterweight to the globalist order. If Trump and Putin align, the EU's grip on the West crumbles overnight. Energy dominance restored with Russian resources and American industry. The world's energy crisis could be reversed on Trump's terms. The death of NATO as we know it, no more European elites leeching off the US military while sabotaging American interests. The globalists need war to maintain control. Trump and Putin could take that away from them. They never thought he'd do it. They never thought he would win. Now he's coming for their war. If Trump and Putin end this war, what happens to the globalist plan? This footage is from previous meetings during Trump's last presidency, but a new historic meeting between Trump and Putin is set to take place in Saudi Arabia soon. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Whichever way it goes, this is going to be interesting. Mario Norful said reveals Senator Cotton tied to anti-Trump NGO getting millions from USAID. Senator Cotton sits on the board of International Republican Institute, which reportedly received $130 million in taxpayer money last year, much of it from USAID. The group actively works against Trump's policies while funding UN refugee programs. IRI spent $12 million on travel and $14 million on benefits last year. They even provide housing allowances according to their tax reforms. Now Cotton's blocking Trump's DOD pick. Funny how that works. Yeah. Very funny. And what does Elon Musk say here? Data Republican said, I'll clarify this for you, Charlie Kirk. Senator Tom Cotton serves as director at the International Republican Institute, one of the 8 core NGOs aligned with the political establishment. While IRI is closely tied to the Republican Party, its agenda and interests fundamentally conflicts with President Trump's policies. Funded primarily by taxpayers, IRI received $130 million, $689,289 last year, much of it from USAID. Though Senator Cotton is unpaid for his board role, the organisation directs substantial public funds towards expenditure like travel, $12 million, and pensions and fringe benefits, $14 million. As I've noted before, our IRI has funded refugee resettlement through grants to the UN-affiliated International Organisation for Migration and has backed other progressive initiatives. Anyone affiliated with IRI is advancing the interests of the global elite, not the priorities of US citizens or Republican constituents, unless they choose to resign from the IRI. There you go. Very interesting indeed. Doge news. Breaking. Doge discovered an identification code linking US Treasury payments to a budget line item, which accounts for nearly $4.7 trillion in payments. This line item was oftentimes left blank. The Treasury Access Symbol, TAS, is an identification code linking a Treasury payment to a budget line item, standard financial process. In the federal government, the TAS field was optional for $4.7 trillion in payments and was often left blank, making traceability almost impossible. As of Saturday, this is now a required field, increasing insight into where the money is actually going. Wow. 4.7 trillion unaccounted for. Again, Doge news breaking. Michelle King, acting head of the SSI, Social Security Administration, has resigned. This comes after Doge revealed nearly 20 million dead people in the Social Security database, including 2 who are reportedly over 300 years old. And that's where I think the illegal immigrants are getting their social security numbers from. But hey, I don't know. McAmius said, how can anyone support this anymore? Seriously, Ukraine is a money laundering operation. Peter Dutton, 20 hours ago, said Australia stands proudly with President Zelensky and the Ukrainian people. If you needed any more proof that Labor, Liberal, the Greens and the Teals are working against you, here it is. The UK has provided stoic leadership along with others since the moment of Vladimir Putin's barbaric invasion into Ukraine. And he got told. Oh, the word salad of trying to make peace talks a bad thing. Yeah, read the comments, why don't you? You don't represent the views of many. Yeah, we love Klaus and his WEF. Both sides do. So if you're thinking of voting Liberal, honestly, put them last as well. Like, put them above Labor put Labor last and the Greens and the Teals. But Liberal should be right, behind them too. And Donald J. Trump went to Daytona. I used to play that game. What was it? It wasn't the Sony PlayStation. It was the Sega Saturn. I used to play Sega Saturn and do Daytona racing and rally racing. Anyway, there's Trump at Daytona. White House Post said be prepared for the 17 cities, one event scenario. I'm waiting. The White House also, they also said the public, hang on. Zelensky has surrendered under the guise of a peace deal. The White House has a new meme coin. The head of the U.S. Postal Service, Louis DeJoy, to step down. Another one bites the dust. Breaking: Donald Trump and Elon Musk win their biggest court victory yet. Obama judge just blocked Democrats from stopping Doge. Time to go full throttle. There was one post. Oh, are you ready for the greatest event in history? There's not just that one. There's another one. They said most people are not prepared for what is about to happen. Okay, they're asking if it's going to be EBS tonight. God is in control. National security alert issued. Nothing can stop what's coming. Prepare for 10 days of communication darkness. We're in a silent war, the final battle of the planet. In the next couple of weeks, the world will change and tremble. Don't be afraid. All assets are in place. The truth is the light, and the light defeats darkness. I'm alive. She's alive. He's alive. It takes time. Be patient. Okay, the world is not ready for what's about to happen. Okay, but most of us here know. And some of us have been waiting for many, many years for this day to come. So let's just see how we go here. Right, what's this one? Okay, this is one of the threads that I didn't get to before. Let's do this one at least. See Reason said, got this information from another platform. I've added pictures, place this information with a thread. Everyone should take time to read this slowly and patiently because it's very important. From 2001 to 2005, there was an ongoing investigation into the Clinton Foundation. A grand jury had been impaneled. Governments from around the world had donated to the charity, yet from 2001 to 2003, none of those donations to the Clinton Foundation were declared. Now, you would think that an honest investigator would be able to figure this out. Look who took over this investigation in 2005, none other than James Comey. Coincidence? Guess who transferred into Internal Revenue Service to run the tax exemption branch of the IRS? None other than Lois Lerner. That's interesting. But this is all just a series of strange coincidences, right? Guess who ran the tax division inside the Department of Justice from 2001 to 2005? Oh, bloody hell. None other than the Assistant Attorney General of the United States, Rod Rosenstein. Guess who was the Director of Federal Bureau of Investigation during this time frame? Another coincidence, just an anomaly in the statistics and chances, but it was Robert Mueller. What do all forecasting characters have in common? They were all briefed and or were frontline investigators into the Clinton Foundation investigation. Another coincidence, right? Fast forward to 2009, James Comey leaves the Justice Department to go and cash in at Lockheed Martin. Hillary Clinton is running a State Department official government business on her own personal email server. The Uranium One issue comes to the attention of Hillary. Like all good public servants do, supposedly looking out for America's best interests, she decides to support the decision and approve the sale of 20% of US uranium to the Russians. Now, you would think that this is a fairly straight-up deal, except it wasn't. America got absolutely nothing out of it. However, prior to the sales approval, Bill Clinton goes to Moscow, gets paid $500,000 for a one-hour speech, then meets with Vladimir Putin at his home for a few hours. Okay, no big deal, right? Well, not so fast. The FBI had a mole inside the money laundering and bribery scheme. Robert Mueller was the FBI director during this time frame. He even delivered a uranium sample to Moscow in 2009. Who was handling that case within the Justice Department out of the U.S. Attorney's Office in Maryland? None other than Rod Rosenstein. And what happened to the informant? The Department of Justice placed a gag order on him and threatened to lock him up if he spoke out about it. How does 20% of the most strategic asset of the United States of America end up in Russian hands when the FBI has an informant, a mole, providing inside information to the FBI on the criminal enterprise? Very soon after, the sale was approved. $145 million in donations made their way to the Clinton Foundation from entities directly connected to the Uranium One deal. Guess who is still at the Internal Revenue Service working the charitable division? None other than Lois Lerner. Okay, that's all just another series of coincidences, nothing to see here, right? Let's fast forward to 2015. Due to a series of tragic events in Benghazi after the 9 investigations, the House, Senate and at State Department, Trey Gowdy, who was running the 10th investigation as chairman of the Select Committee on Benghazi, discovers that Hillary ran the State Department on unclassified, unauthorised outlaw personal email server. He also discovered that none of those emails had been turned over when she departed her public service as Secretary of State, which was required by law. He also discovered that there was top-secret information contained within her personally archived email. Sparing you the State Department's cover-up, the nostrums they floated, the delay tactics that were employed, and the outright lies that were spewed forth from the necks of the Kerry State Department, we shall leave it with this. They did everything humanly possible to cover for Hillary. Now, this is amazing. Guess who became FBI director in 2013? James Comey, who secured 17 no-bid contracts for his employer Lockheed Martin with the State Department and was rewarded with a $6 million thank you present when he departed his employer. Amazing how all those no bids just went right through at the State Department. Now he's the FBI director in charge of the Clinton email investigation, after, of course, his FBI investigates the Lois Lerner matter at the Internal Revenue Service and he exonerates her. Nope, he couldn't find any crimes there. Doge, this needs to be looked into. In April 2016, James Comey drafts an exoneration letter of Hillary Rodham Clinton. Meanwhile, the DOJ is handing out immunity deals like candy. They didn't even convene a grand jury. Like a lightning bolt of statistical impossibility, like a miracle from God himself, like the true gangster Comey is, James steps out into the cameras of an awaiting press conference on July the 5th of 2016 and exonerates Hillary from any wrongdoing. Do you see the pattern? It goes on and on. Rosenstein becomes Assistant Attorney General. Comey gets fired based upon a letter by Rosenstein. Comey leaks government information to the press. Mueller is assigned to the Russian investigation sham by Rosenstein to provide cover for decades of malfeasance within the FBI and DOJ, and the story continues. Pfizer abuse, political espionage, pick a crime, any crime. Chances are this group and a few others did it. All the same players, all compromised and conflicted, all working fervently to not go to jail themselves, all connected in one way or another to the Clintons. They are like battery acid. They corrode and corrupt everything they touch. How many lives have these two destroyed? As of this writing, the Clinton Foundation, in its 20-plus years of operation, has been the largest international charity fraud in the history of mankind, has never been audited by the Internal Revenue Service. Let's not forget that Comey's brother works for DLA Piper, the law firm that does the Clinton Foundation taxes. The person that is the common denominator to all the crimes above and still doing her evil escape legal maneuvers at the top of three-letter USA agencies? Yes, that would be Hillary Rodham Clinton. Let's learn a little about Lisa H. Barsumian's background. Lisa H. Barsumian, attorney that graduated from Georgetown Law, is a protege of James Comey and Robert Mueller. Barsumian, with her boss R. Craig Lawrence, represented Bill Clinton in 1998. Lawrence also represented Robert Mueller 3 times, James Comey 5 times, Barack Obama 45 times, Kathleen Sebelius 56 times, Bill Clinton 40 times, and Hillary Clinton 17 times. Between 1998 and 2017, Barsumian herself represented the FBI at least 5 times. You may be saying to yourself, who cares about the work history of this Barsumian woman? Well, apparently someone does, because someone out there cares so much they've purged all Barsumian court documents for her Clinton representation in Hamburg versus Clinton in 1998 and its appeal in 1999 from the DC District Appeal Court dockets. Someone out there cares so much that even the internet has been purged of all information pertaining to Barsumian. Historically, this indicates that the individual is a protected CIA operative. Additionally, Lisa Barsumian has specialised in opposing Freedom of Information Act requests on behalf of the intelligence community. Although Barsumian has been involved in hundreds of cases representing the DC office of the US Attorney, her email address is lisabarsumian@nih.gov. The NIH stands for National Institutes of Health. This is a tactic routinely used by the CIA to protect an operative by using another governmental organisation to shield their activities. It's a cover, so big deal, right? No big deal, right? So big deal, right? I don't know. What does one more attorney with ties to the US intelligence community really matter? It deals with Trump and his recent tariffs on Chinese steel and aluminium imports, the border wall, DACA, everything coming out of California, the Uniparty unrelenting opposition to President Trump, the Clapper leaks, the Comey leaks, Attorney General Jeff Sessions' recusal and subsequent 14-month nap with occasional forays into the marijuana legalization mix, and last but not least, Mueller's never-ending investigation into collusion between Trump team and the Russians. Why does Barsumian CIA operative merit any mention? Because she's Assistant Attorney General Rod Rosenstein's wife. Holy shit. Wow. How interesting. Okay, now I've got to get back to my bookmarks. Where are we? Holy crap, that was a lot. That was a lot. There we go. So there's that one. And I think I'll wrap it up there. This one, I'm going to bookmark the next one to get it to the top because I want to read this one tomorrow. Okay? Now this one is Auschwitz according to Grok, okay? And there's another thread. Okay, we'll do that again. We'll get it to the top again. So there you go. That's it for today with news. There's probably more out there that I've missed, but that's what I've got so far. Okay, Pat's in here. How you going, Pat? Stu said, better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow, Hev. J1 said, yo, Pat. Starchild said, has anyone been following Candace Owens' doc on Bridget McCrone? Crazy. Yes, I have been. Did one of her videos get removed from YouTube? She's had to open a website. I'm wondering. Out to lunch said, on my home, bad weather possible in northeast Mississippi. Out to lunch said, is Candace a tranny? What? No. Dell said, real deal stream movement worldwide. Hello from London. London is fucked. Tips hat to you all. Best info on here. More truth than all medias. Thank you, Dell. Appreciate that. Dell said, Starchild, my money's on a TV for Planet of the Apes DNA. J1 said, nah, me neither. Stu said, she's wearing a foreskin. Oh, that was our politician. Dell said, health screener for high-risk third world countries. Sit down, wokey rich man. And Dad, you make me sick. Out to lunch said, she big mad. Stu said, Babbitt or Rennick? Yeah, well, any one of the two of them, Stu. Vote for all of them little ones. So Rennick, Babbitt, like all the little parties. But I think Babbitt would make, yeah, well, Rennick might as well, but I think Babbitt would make a great Prime Minister. Dell said, for fuck's sake, don't show a romper stomper movie or vintage chop views on rainbows and women's roles. J1 said, I'm waiting till all the Gitmo shit's done with before I trust any of them. I don't blame you. Stu said, nope, none of them stopped the grift. They all need striped PJs. Dell said, Shady Arabia, hated by their own people. Man, Feasel Lawrence. Starchild said, lol, Deb. Stu said, I'm voting for Eric the Red. Out to lunch said, if at one time it was illegal to propaganda people, but it was stopped, can't Trump reinstate it? He could, I think. Didn't Obama change it? So Trump could reinstate it. I reckon that'll be on the cards at some point. Dell said, I reckon Chop Chop could get ministers to change their minds on funding poorer areas after a meeting. Timmy, how you going? J1 said XRP. Everyone's saying hello to Timmy. Out to lunch at a grocery store, very busy, no one better this town for panic buying. Starchild said, how's Alex? Haven't seen her for a few days. I'm sure she's sleeping. She's been taking magnesium and getting back into a regular sleep pattern, God love her. Stu said, well, show me one person innocent and I'll die on the spot. The children, yes, but us, not so much. Exactly. Out to lunch said, Born in Sin, come on in. You know the movie? Luna said, hi, all got to get ready for a doctor appointment, so won't be here long, but had to watch. God love you, Luna. I hope you and the girls are doing great. And the family. Virginia said, good evening, everyone. And out to lunch said, Luna, best for you. Stu said, out to lunch, I need an interval. Go get me more snacks. Too much winning. Dell said, PTSD, everyone that grew up in Glasgow in the 80s. Out to lunch said, movie getting good. It is. It's getting very interesting. We're at a point now where something big's going to pop off, surely. J1 said it's going to be information overload soon. Deb said, hello, sweetie. How you going, Deb? J1 said, might have to update my hardware. Out to lunch said, don't piss Dev off. She's blue. Oh, she's highlighted blue with a little wrench. J1 said, USAID probably paying for it. Yep. Studio said post-traumatic stress disorder is actually post-traumatic stress injury. Yay, I got it right. I was told by a person who knows. Dell said, Gaza come up, raped 15-year-old boy. It's kicking off. Yeah. And then another couple of people were attacked after that one too, Dell. Stu said stress, missed it by that much. And everyone's still saying hello. Dell said, Stu, I was diagnosed PTSD, ADHD, ASPD, anger management. And for 45 years, I just thought I was Scottish. Oh, yeah, I've apparently got PTSD too. Post-traumatic stress disorder. And I said, no, I haven't. I'm over it. I told the doctor that. I said, surely I don't have PTSD anymore. I'm over it. Like, you know, I know that, like, it happened and I accept it and I moved on and I don't dwell on it. So, like, I don't know. But then things happen and I act really weird and I'm like, oh, maybe I do have it. Dell said, Deb, good evening, Debs. Hope you're well. Deb said, hello, Timmy. Robert said, I called the British Embassy in Dallas, Texas and rudely ridiculed them. Arrest Brits for what I did. God won't save the drag queen. Stu said, Dell, me too, but they won't admit it or they have to compensate me if they do. I got major depression. A higher rank than I ever achieved in the Navy. Robert said, transgender science project freaks gone bad. MJ said, in the 90s, how you going, MJ? In the 90s, we had elderly patients, then was forced to call clients around 78, 79. Clients, I really see patterns over and over. Creepy word spell, but hey. Yeah, and Deb said Ozempic for that woman who looked so healthy and then looks like a skeleton now. Del said, by today's standards, all I grew up with were mentally ill. Bollocks, 20th century speak-minded is all we are. Stu said, wrinkles? No, Hev, they're character lines. Yeah, them too. Hey, Carl, how you going? Hello, people. I've missed a lot of Hev's updates. Someone fill me in on the last 2 weeks. Oh, shit, that's a lot. Deb said, a bit of fat, keep your face from caving in. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, how you going, Carl? Deb said, I love Godspell musical. MJ said, hot dang gold. J1 said, mocking Christ is their favourite pastime. It is. Stu said, Shannon's not here, so I'll say it for him. What type of fat are you referring to, Deb? Starchild went, Deb said, funny they don't like Mel Gibson's Christ. No, they didn't. Robert said, Simon Wood's channel explained the surgery hormones they do. Science Project freaks, test tube babies, blood is on the table, farming babies, mouths are choking. I'm going hungry. And Deb said, I keep saying it, wash, wash, wash. Del said, Zuckerberg lets pedos on there saying anything mildly anti-globalist, you naughty stepped. There you go. MJ said the wigs are weird. Yeah, I don't understand why they put those stupid wigs on, these stupid judges or barristers or whatever they are. It's like they're cosplaying something, some Freemason shit, though, I think. That's what I think it's got to do with, Freemason crap. Go in there, just how you look, with a suit on, mate. Why not? Yeah, they do look ridiculous, Deb. Robert said 200 years ago, hide their transgenderism. MJ said, gotta be a ritual. Deb said, please clean our swamp. Stu said, click, go the shears, boys. Click, click, click. Wide is his blow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and is beaten by a blow and curses the old snagger with a bare-bellied Joe. Deb's hit the thumbs up, guys, please, if you can. Thank you very much. It helps me out. Robert said, you can accept these freaks at trannies. You can't accept that these freaks at trannies going to have a real hard time with their lizard-off well-being overlords. Del said, NATO are the danger. Yeah. Del said, air about time. Deb said, fuck around and find out with the Irish. Yeah. Stu said, Deb, no one gets out of this life alive. Nothing can stop what's coming. Yep. MJ said, powder. Remember Puff? J1 said, there's a track winding back. I won't keep going. I only know the dirty version. Yeah, oh yeah, please don't. Del said, child harmer, let all BBC nonsense off when head of DPP. Yes, exactly. Deb said, what renewables? Are they not renewable? They are making more problems. MJ said his microphone, it was a chicken, wasn't it? MJ. He had a chicken microphone. That guy was cool. He's an Aussie too, so there you go. Deb's laughing at MJ. Nick said, little hijab has no clue what race is. Yep. MJ said, I love it, Deb. Deb said, we can't trust media. And hello, Nick. And MJ said, Hev. Stu said, race was a band. Some girls will... Oh, yeah. Some girls will. Some girls won't. Some girls need a lot of loving, some girls don't. Remember that? Were they called Racy or Race? Anyway, Randy said, hello all. Deb said, I see scam, BBC. Sorry, ABC, they're both deceivers. They're both the same, ABC, BBC. Stu said, well, I know I got the fever, but I don't know why. Some say will, and some girls lie. Del said, operas, kitty fiddling, orphanages all coming out. Sick, three-letter orgs, Kidman's father, creepoid. Yes, definitely. Nicole Kidman's father is a very deranged man, I believe. MJ said, I hate that she can't say what it is. It actually says. Yeah, I can't. Here on YouTube, you can't say anything. Del says, aliens would land and say, take me to your pedo. Randy said, take me to your dealer. Stu said, that could possibly be the worst song ever written, apart from Achy Breaky Heart. J1 said, hello, was the worst song ever written. Lionel Richie. I used to love that song. Del said, shout the odds like a gangster, but he won't hold a gun? Stu said, hello? Is it me you're looking for? No. MJ said the blind girl disagrees. Deb said, bloody crap building shit I built. It was insane, only to put everyone on top of each other. Randy said, I like on top. Stu said, anyway, any which way but loose, Randy. Any which way but loose, you turn me. Any which way but loose. Oh, God, memories. Dell said, I'm surrounded by my enemies. I fly the Saltire and Templar's flag like Jerusalem, like Baldwin. And Jules of Southern Oregon, how you going? Dell said, eugenics, mass slaughter, lies, and kitty fiddling his scum 4 times on the list to Epstein. MJ said, Jules, how's the weather in Oregon today? J1 said, the Redbacks. MJ said, man, face, just saying. Deb said, if you got nothing to hide, you shouldn't have a problem. Randy said, minus 10 Celsius and windy here. Some blowing snow. Wow. Jules said, MJ cold and cloudy today. Stu said, got to check out the forehead and chin nowadays. J1 said 800,000 sealed indictments. MJ said, icy glaze here, cold. Ooh. Randy said, where are the Epstein and Diddy foot lists? I know, see him. I know. I can't see him either, Randy. Jules of Southern Oregon said, MJ, watch your step. J1 said, Randy Cash disclosing day 1 e-files. MJ said, Randy, right, we be waiting. Randy said, day 1, gone, I don't see. No, Cash isn't in yet. J1 said, Cash is still being confirmed. Jules of Southern Oregon said, MJ, we got 8 inches of snow last week. Wow. J1 said, was watching confirmation before coming to Hev. Oh, God love you. Stu said they stole the gold. Deb said, so our government's just a boy club. J1 said, Stu, I hope they did. New financial system, hurry up. Yep. Randy said, digital dollar, no. MJ said, Jules, we got 6 to 7, but then it rained and iced over. Can't walk on it. My poor dog slides everywhere. She hates it. Potty time is a chore. Oh, the poor thing. Stu said, I'm dreaming about Jasara, J1. J1 said, Randy, yep. Jules said, MJ, oh, poor puppers. J1 said, crypto is Jasara, new financial system. Stu said, I hope so. Something's got to change. J1 says, Stu to you, 2025 is here and you'll see it before the end of the year. Stu said, we don't like you politician pricks. MJ said, given spicy. Jules said, kaboom. J1 said, Stu, Australian AUD goes live Q3. MJ said they believe in tampons for men, so... J1 said US crypto regulations will be done in 100 days. Pat had a message retracted. How you going, Pat? Deb said, yes, we'll get to see. It's all about violating children, the rainbow scam. Stu said, slaves no more. Deb said, hello, our beautiful Pat. Stu said, hi, Jules, great to have you on board. Stu said, pipe the still. Randy said, I've made a couple of pieces of a still. J1 said, Trump will blow everyone away and join BRICS. J1 said, lol, not so funny when you think about it. Pat said, hi, Deb, hope you're well. You always cheer me up with your greeting. Oh, God love ya. J1 said, no gold knocks. Fed bank shut, petrodollar gone. Boom. Randy said, China got gold. MJ said, free for all, dem is over. Stu said, they only come up to your knees. Stu said, the world today seems absolutely crackers. Nuclear bombs to blow us all sky high. There's fools and idiots sitting on the triggers. It's depressing and it's senseless, and that's why I like Chinese. MJ said, Sega. And Deb said, oh, my God, I played it too, Sega. Randy said, I like Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, I just used to play Daytona and Sega Rally. That's what I used to play. Yeah. Stu said, I like Chinese. They come from a long way overseas, but they're cute and they're cuddly and they're ready to please. Yeah, not all of them, Stu. I don't know. Lately, the Chinese men are kicking up a bit of a stink against the Chinese women because they all want dowries and they're not virgins. So a dowry, I believe, is meant to be for a virgin wife. If you're not a virgin, you should not be paying a dowry to anyone. Sorry, but not sorry. Randy said, lies. J1 said we had 2 lines that hit a dot like tennis. Our rich cousins had Atari. Yeah, we had that one first as well. But I'm talking back in the early 90s. MJ said, I'm not patient. I try. Deb said, not fast enough for us. Randy said, I haven't seen anyone getting hung yet. Stu said, we were the last house in the street to get a colour TV. MJ said, Pong was good, lol. Yeah, that was the 2 sticks with a little dot going from side to side on your screen. Galaga, yeah, Randy, Galaga. Donkey Kong, Space Invaders. Randy, a couple of years back, we saw Toesie's Swang. Deb said, yes, Atari was our first. Frogger, Pitfall, yes, Frogger. Dig Dug, Tetris, yes. Duke Nukem. Randy said, Simon. Red Dead Redemption. Red Alert. Doom. MJ said, if a lizard had, its face is Kerry. George, how you going, George? Good to see ya. Stu said, corn put. What? I don't know what that means, Stu. Oh, I get it now. Computer games. Is that what you mean? And did I say it enough? I don't know. I remember the song. It's like the there's another song. Is it Cars? I don't know. I heard it the other day. Dell said you're either at the table or at the menu, Al Capone. And I don't mean the band Cars. I mean like, shit. It was an 80s song. Anyway. Dell said you're either at the table or at the menu, Al Capone. I read that. Yep. Deb said I was under the impression that we'd get a package of videos telling us the whole thing put together for the major public to see the evil they did. It's kind of playing out now. It's all over the TV and everything in a way. You still got the propaganda and shit, but people can, they should be able to see straight through it now. Surely. J1 said Deb same. J1 said Deb pretty happy with Trump's first month myself. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's going pretty good so far. Okay, where am I? Here somewhere. Okay. MJ said, John Carter, Barsoom. Dell said, Arkansas, Hillary, Roger Clinton, and Bush Jr. busted by DEA 3 times, told let go. Deb said, yes, Joe won the best to come. Trump's just getting started. MJ said, imagine that. Dell said, good night, Hev. Cracking show as always. More truth than the whole world's media. Thank you, Dell. I appreciate that. Randy said, did you see Kevin O'Leary on CNN today? MJ said, Randy can. Say it ain't so. Starchild said, Cash Patel just won, will be confirmed. Good. Randy said he ripped him. MJ said, Candy is a many, duper's delight. No offence, but skull eyes width. Deb said, Trump has a plan. Randy thinks Trump's the Antichrist. Deb said, send our love out to our sleep, Alex. Dell said, George, good evening, great name you got. Kings of Ire. Randy said, Elon, false prophet. Stu said, yes, snooze well, our Alex. George said, hi, Kings of Ireland, Dell. Dell said, daily outrageous government fueling this to become very bad. Starchild said, sending blessings and love to our Alex. Dell said, after my ROA, if I wasn't mental, I would really be mental. J1 said, I've got DTAC. Don't trust any. Good on you, J1. Deb said, sorry, I was a bit out of it yesterday. Get over the bad day. Stormy old fella anniversary of his 1-year-old son that drowned in a pool when he only... Oh, Deb. My heart goes out to you and him 37 years ago. Oh, mate, seriously. Dell said, George, that's right, mate, with O'Brien, biggest two Ryan errands. Deb said, a lot of buffing today. MJ said, she says Simon's name and my phone circles for a couple of seconds. Deb said, I'll look into Wiggies. It's something from a long time ago. Shannon, how you going? Shannon said, yeah, I even struggled to hold my breath for 37 years. What? Starchild said, yes, YouTube cut it. I went to Candace's website. I think we have a father married his son. More to be revealed, in my opinion. Ooh. Thank you, Starchild. I'll go and look on Candace Owen's website then. Dell said, I'd identify with Ned Kelly. Okay, okie dokie. Randy said, peace, love to all. You too, Randy. Shannon said, hey, your windows. Stu said, Shannon in the house. Dell said it was racy. Some girls, 2-hit wonders. Yep. Stu said, thank God for the Lord for that too, Dell. J1 said, Deb Wiggles MK reinforcement. Dell said, shut up in your face. One. I remember that. What's the matter, you? Hey, gotta no respect. What do you think you do? Why you look so sad? It's a not so bad. It's a nicer place. Shut up in your face. Great song. Okay, J1 said sky rockets at night. In sight. Afternoon delight. Shannon said, right, Deb's Hev show is PG. Dell said, turn up the volume. I heard the other day as a mistake for volume. So hilarious. Yes, Stu, afternoon delight. I'm pretty sure it's sky rockets in sight. Absolute delight, isn't it? Afternoon delight. Deb said only those with dirty mind would think that too, Shannon. Dell said, Stu, when I was a youth, mate, I shagged for Scotland. 14 years of one woman changed my outlook on life. Indeed, mate, no slut shaming. Bonnie Blue certainly does need a lot. Deb said, I did not know that, Hev. Stu said, yes, Dell, I learnt my lesson too. Stu said, too many times, too many times, too many times. MJ said it, she got it. Dell said, kid means tied for life, but I never spoke to her until mum's death 7 years later, then 5 words and next 7 I am to the grave. Deb said, love that song, computer games, and yes, Hev song, cars. It goes do 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 do. Oh, he's driving in his car. He feels safe in his car. Who's that? Shit. Studio said, I tip my hat to you, Dell. Dell said, Stu, back at you, sir. I tip my hat and whistles Dixie. Stu said, we had a band called Mental as Anything. They were okay. Too Many Times was one of their songs. Yep. Too many times, too many times. Anyway, Shannon said, timing is everything. You can't just drop everything in the normies straight away. Drip, drip to a flood. Exactly. J1 said, Blue Bayou, Linda Ronstadt. Shit, I'm old. MJ said, DTAC, good one. Last letter goes both ways. Shannon said, buffering. Oh, no. Stu said, Linda and Jackson Brown wasn't too shabby either. MJ said, Blue Bayou, top 5 in my head. Dell said, bless the baby angels. May they RIP and prayers for the families. Terrible all deaths, but a child's coffin buckled tough men's legs. Definitely. Nick Radev's version, lol. I'm trying to remember the bloody song. Hang on one sec. I'm going to do a search here. Gary Newman. Okay, real quick. I'm only going to do a little tiny bit of it. Oh, it sounds a bit weird. Hang on. That one. I love that song. Oh, dear me. Okay, where was I up to here? MJ said, hum it. Stu said, missing you guys already. Chin up, eyes forward, buckle up and be nice to one another. Yes, guys. Okay, with that, I'm going to leave it there for today. If I don't show up for a week, you know that I've been had a strike or something, and I'll be on Rumble instead. But other than that, I should be back tomorrow. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.